Hello friends, myself Praveen Ji Dhawde, Assistant Professor in Department of Electrical Engineering, EDU. So today we are going to discuss EHVAC and HVDC systems. So that is nothing but extra high voltage AC systems and high voltage DC systems. So due to this COVID-19 situations, different universities are now going to conduct the examinations, and that examinations is MCQ based, means multiple objective questions are there. So students are get confused how to do the study of different subjects, and they try to search on that. So I think regarding that I prepared this video. So let's see. So the history regarding the HVDC system. So this scientist, right? So this scientist August Uno Lamb, he actually discovered this HVDC system. He invented these systems. He basically working with the ABB, right? And during that, he go through that different techniques. So in the early 1920s, August had vision that will ultimately take a decades to come to fruitions and change the world for you. So Lamb, who is widely referred to as a father of high voltage DC transmissions, right? So invented the first economical way to convert AC to DC systems, right? So in your university examinations, they may be asked who is the father of HVDC systems. So in that case, your answer is August Uno Lamb, right? Now next, the first commercial applications of HVDC systems, right, means first commercial HVDC transmission line is between Swedish mainland and Iceland of Gotland in 1954. So this is all about HVDC systems, and that is underwater link near about 90 kilometers and 20 megawatt. Right. After that, number of invention is going on, but from the MCQ point of view, the main thing regarding the history, who invented this HVDC transmission system, or we can say the father of HVDC system is nothing but August Uno Lamb. And first commercial HVDC transmission line is constructed between Swedish mainland and Iceland of Gotland in 1954. Now next thing is, most of the students get confused what is mean by HVDC system and what is mean by AHVAC systems, right? So there is a concept of AC and DC. So you observe these two persons. One person is just running, right, with the help of his leg, right? His direction is like this. And other person is just by using a skating, he just slide himself from one point to another point. So in these systems, right, in these two situation, you clearly observe that the position of this person is constant, but the positions of this person is change with respect to your time period. Suppose we draw a waveform, right, like that. So this is suppose time, right? So when he travel the distance, at that time the positions of his legs is going to change with respect to time intervals. So AC current will struggle against inertia in the line, right? So why it is? Because of electrical resistance, inductance and reactive power. In case of DC current, it is roll along the line, opposing force friction, electrical resistance. So in a DC systems, your magnitude is constant, right? Magnitude of voltage current is constant, and not that kind of losses in electrical DC systems as we observed in a AC systems. So now our point is, what is meant by HVDC systems? So in this diagram, you observe that there is a one sending end and there is another one is receiving end, right? And in between them, that system is designed. So in a HVDC system, what we do, we convert AC power into DC. Then by using DC transmission line, we are transfer the power. Then at inverter station, we converting the DC power into AC and then given to the receiving end. So now let's see. So this is your sending end, and here we are using the a transformer, right? This is general diagrams, right? In a detailed diagram, there is a different diagrams. So this is your transformer. This is called the converter transformers, right? So here they are providing the filters. Why they are providing the filters? When you are feeding the power, right? So this is your AC side. So when you are feeding the powers, if there is any harmonics are there, that harmonics are eliminated by using these filters. Then as per the demand, we feeding that power to the rectification stations. In this station, we convert your AC power into DC by using this rectification station. So basically here they are using the different thyristors, right? Then once it is converted into DC, then it is transferred through the transmission lines, and that transmission lines are DC transmission lines, right? And then at inverter stations, we convert that DC power into AC, right? So you can simultaneously compare this waveform. So here input is AC, then by using the rectification stations, we convert that AC power into DC, and then at inverter stations, we convert that DC power into AC, and then given to the receiving end through these transformers. Here also we are providing the filters. Why we are providing filter here? When the power is converted from DC to AC, and then also some harmonics are there, that harmonics or ripples are there, that will be removed by using these harmonic filters. So from the MCQ point of view, they may be ask you the questions. In a HVDC system, how it is work? So basically it is converted AC into DC and then DC into AC, right? So they are the three-stage operations. Now next, that is, I said that there is the three basic steps. So they may be ask you how many steps are there in a HVDC system. So convert AC into DC, that is rectification mode. Then transmit that DC power, then convert DC into AC. So you maybe read about what is the rectification stations, what is meant by inverter stations. So they are basically the two substations are there, those stations, converter stations are there. Now another important point regarding the HVDC systems, that is nothing but this diagram. Why we go for the HVDC systems? So HVDC system is economical as compared to AC system. So due to that we go for the HVDC system. But how we justify these statements, right? So for that, this is the diagram. Here you find out investment cost and this is the distance, right? So now here AC line is there and DC line is there. Now this AC line is started from this point, right? And DC line is started from this point. So it is started initial and after that DC line is started, right? And this is the investment cost. So you observe that this AC line cost is started initial, means initial cost of this AC transmission line is less as compared to DC line, because this graph is like this, right? This. So here it is started, means it is low value. It is started from this, so it is higher. Suppose it is started here, so their cost is high. So from this graph, you easily observe that initial cost of your AC lines is less as compared to your DC lines. Okay. Then also why we have said that HVDC system is more economical as compared to AC lines for a longer distance. So the point is longer distance. So this point is called a break-even point. So from this diagram, you observe that it is gradually increasing in upward side, right? But as the distance is increasing, right? So this graph is going to increase in upper side, right? And this graph started initially at high level, but over a distance, their graph is just below of this AC system. So during the transmissions of power at a longer distance, it is clearly observed that DC transmission line cost is less. Right? Suppose you are constructing the line for 800 kilometers, then in that case this DC system is preferable as compared to AC system because of losses. So losses in during the transmission in DC system is less. So to do that we go for the DC systems. So maybe in the MCQ based examination they may be ask you what this distance is called. So this distance is called a break-even distance point, right? Break-even distance, that is approximately 600 to 800 kilometers, right? If they particularly ask for how much distance or at which distance we are going to prefer the HVDC system, so your answer should be more than 800 kilometers or 850, 830. Very important, that is questions. HVDC system is preferred at for a longer distance, and that distance may be more than 800 kilometers, more than 830 kilometers, or more than 850 kilometers. Now trends in a transmission voltages. So these all the things are depending on this formula, right? Sending end and receiving end and transmission line reactance and the angle between that two waves or two voltages, right? And another question may be design on the basis of which are the HVDC projects in India, right? So different HVDC projects are there, but they may be asked if the examinations is in Maharashtra, they may be focused on this Chandrapur to Padge substations, right? They may be asked the first HVDC projects, that is Vidyanjal back to back, right? So this Chandrapur to Padge substation, it is constructed in 1997, right? Chandrapur to Padge, and distance is 830 kilometers. That is very important point. And the rating is 1500 megawatt, right? So they may be design the question like this: which is the HVDC projects which having the capacities more than 1500 megawatt, or they may be asked in the ask the question like which are the HVDC projects in India, right? And given the four options, or they may be asked the questions which is the HVDC transmission line in Maharashtra and their capacities or distance, right? So these points are very important. Now the types of HVDC configurations. So there is a monopolar, bipolar, back-to-back, multi-terminal DC systems, and tripolar. So these are the different configurations through that we transmit the power from one point to another points. So question may be designed like this: which are the different types of links? And they may be given in the options like monopolar, bipolar, back-to-back, none of these, all of these, like that they may be design the questions, right? So this is a different types of configuration: monopolar, bipolar, back to back, multi-terminal, and tripolars, right? And the next part of this section we will discuss in the next lectures. So thank you very much.